Peace and love, family. Credit Gotti is back here again with another episode, with another video, and step-by-step process for the people. If it's not clear that Credit Gotti is truly for the people, I'm gonna make it clear on this live. I'm gonna show you guys how you guys can start and generate, a minimum. I was gonna say start your own company, but start a business generating anywhere from $5,000 minimum a month. I'm gonna show you guys how to do so, being able to help your friends and your family at that, with the information in which we do teach. And so I'm gonna show you guys how, with consumer law, you guys can create a whole business around it. You guys can help the masses. And that's how we're going to go out and empower a billion lives. It's not just with me and my credit company, but with all of you guys knowing how to do for self. Like I talked about on yesterday's call with the 508c1A, our mission statement within Billionaires Club Foundation, which is our nonprofit, is to teach individuals and help individuals heal themselves so that we can go out and heal the world. Because in order to heal the world, we must first heal thyself. That's what it said at the end of the mission statement. And so I want to make that clear, and I want to show everybody different ways around with consumer law, how we can start and generate revenue and cash flow with a minimum of $5,000. And whether you guys have a job or not, this can be another income for you guys to eventually down the road take over your full-time income at a job. And this can be your guys' full-time income, as has been mine for the past 2 years. And I've now ventured out into other businesses and other investments. As I've mentioned multiple times here on the channel, we are going to start our portfolio when it comes to multifamily apartment units. So we are getting into commercial real estate. I've been investing within the financial markets since 2019, so 3 to 4 years now, 3 going on 4 years. And above all else, family, this consumer law stuff has got me to where I need to be. So I'm going to show you guys how, with this consumer law stuff, you guys can generate your own, revenue, and you guys can create the amount of income in which you guys desire. Nobody is my boss. Nobody's telling me what I can and can't make. But with the information that I've learned, I'm able to go out there and create and revenue, the income in which I desire. So I want to show you guys and make sure you guys have the foundation when it comes to credit as a whole, and the difference between credit repair and consumer law as a whole. There's a big difference. All right, so many credit repair companies are out there using 609 letters or using just basic templates or templates as a whole. A lot of times they do have, FCRA codes or FDCPA codes within them, but they're not specifically breaking down and, going, just based off the law. They're using, other methods, and they're using, they're blocking the secondary reporting agencies. Why would we go through and block the secondary reporting agencies when that just defeats the purpose of consumer law as a whole? Permissible purpose. Whom are these other consumer reporting agencies as a whole? A lot of you guys did not even know that they existed. And I'm speaking on LexisNexis. I'm speaking on Innovis. I'm speaking on SageStream. I'm speaking on ARS. A lot of you guys didn't even know that they, existed. So why is it that these people are telling you to go out and freeze the secondary bureaus? That's what they're calling them. And furthermore, this is what we do got to understand before getting into credit as a whole, is that they are not bureaus. Nowhere in there. And I'm going to go over a couple different codes, in today that I want you guys to study, master, get familiar with. Print these codes out. I want you to print them out. If you guys were on yesterday's live, you've seen, paperwork from 2 years back of me studying the congressional findings, breaking down line by line, highlighting it, breaking down what each word means, going into the Black's Law Dictionary and looking up the meaning of this definition within the subchapter. If it's not defined, go look up the definition of accuracy. Go look up the definition of fairness. Go look up the definition of these words which are within these codes that we are going out and exercising and using. Because if we don't know the true definition in law term, then we're just going to continue going in circles, family, and not get into where we need to be. You guys can, like I've said multiple times, get any account removed with simply one consumer law code. And so I'm going to go over a couple of different ones that I want you guys to study. Key definitions, key things within the congressional findings that will help you guys in terms of going out and disputing. I'm going to help show you guys where you guys can check the news when it comes to consumer law to see if any of these corporations are being sued. You guys can see the lawsuit. You guys can see everything that is taking place and be up to date. So I'll show you guys that and the two websites that I'm going to recommend to you guys at the end. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. So coming in first and foremost, of course, we're going to stay within Title 15 as a whole. I will go outside of Chapter 41 just for one code itself, or for one chapter itself. But above all else, within Chapter 41, there are 7 subchapters. I'm going to keep you guys and just have you guys master 4 of them. Or I'm going to have you guys master 4 of them. If you guys can master 4 within Chapter 41, you guys will have everything that you guys need to remove any and every single account. So let's hop first and foremost into the start of, Title 15, Chapter 41. And this is Truth in Lending. And this was passed in 1968 because lenders were not being truthful, in the lending process. I went over a great reading on yesterday's live on how we are the ones whom is loaning the money in the first place. And we're coming into the dealership, we're coming into the bank as the creditor, but we're leaving as the debtor. So I want you guys to understand, I want you guys to go back and watch that video. I'm going to do a whole video specifically speaking and touching upon how we are the creditor. I'll go more in depth with that. For everybody that has tuned in, this is just a pop-up live. If you guys can't see, I'm here at the gym. I was like, right after I got done with the gym, I was like, something's on my heart that I just want to come here and pour out to you guys, because so many people have been seeking other revenues, other streams of income. So this video right here specifically is going to help gear you guys in the right direction. So if we come here to Title 15 USC 1601, I want you guys to study the informed use of your credit, which is A. I want you to go through and break it down. I want you to go look up, there's a couple of different key terms within here. I want you to go look up the economic stabilization. I want you guys to go look up, let's see where else. Go look up the definition in Black's Law of a disclosure. Okay, and then I want you guys to go look up, once again, accuracy. It talks about inaccurate, and unfair credit billing and credit card practices. So I want you guys to go break down and study. I'm not going to go over any of the codes today. This is for y'all to go study, and I'm telling y'all what to study. I'm not going to give you guys a process of what to go do next until you guys have shown that you guys have studied and put in the work. So now we're going to come here to Title 15 USC 1602, and some key terms I want you guys to get familiar with is the term bureau, right? Like I said, y'all tell me what the Congress is defining as a bureau. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what Congress defines the bureau as. Then we got the term board. I want you guys to get familiar with the term board as well too. Right away, we may think, okay, this is in alphabetical order. We're going A, B. Oh, hold on. There's a term organization that's defined right next. I want you guys to get familiar with that and the term person. Of course, the term credit, we must understand what it means, what credit truly means. Also, creditor. I want you guys to really, really dissect this, really go through and break it down, go through each definition that is highlighted for you guys by Congress. Go look up each definition and know each definition within the term creditor itself. This will help you guys alone, get things removed by you fully understanding the process as a whole. I want you guys to get familiar with the term open-end credit plan. I want you guys to star adequate notice and get familiar with adequate notice as well too. And what that truly means. I've gone over it multiple times on multiple calls. This is great for collections and charge-offs. If you guys have collections and charge-offs, this is great. Credit card, I want you guys to get familiar with the term credit card and an accepted credit card, as well as a card holder. The last but not least, term within Truth in Lending I want you guys to get familiar with is the term unauthorized use. Unauthorized use. And the family, if you guys are streaming in, just coming in here, all I ask of you guys is that you guys drop a like, drop something in the comment. If something that I'm going over is not making any sense, I want you guys to drop in the comments and ask questions. I want you guys to be cooperative with me so I can make sure that I'm pouring in and that you guys are receptive to the information in which we are covering. Um, so those are the last terms I want you guys to get familiar with. Let me drink my protein shake real quick. I'm over here forgetting about my shake. Drop in the chat box while we're getting this protein shake ready, about to down it. One thing that everybody in the chat is grateful for. What is one thing? You see, we got the copper bottle, only drinking out of Nettles, other than my workout bottle. But in terms of just water throughout the day, you guys can put some gold up in your water, some copper up in your water. Thank me later. Okay, so another code I want you guys to get familiar with is the disclosures guideline. I want you guys to read thoroughly through section A within 1604. Also, I want you guys to read carefully within, let me see, D as well too. So A and D. A, B, and D within Title 15 USC 1604. And then, of course, 1605, we must understand the definition of a finance charge, and all 6 things in which are included within the finance charge, and it defines it right after as well too. So that's 1605. Another one as well too, family, is Title 15 USC 1611. So this is all, once again, family, within truth and lending. So that was the general provisions. So now I'm going to take you guys here into the credit transactions. So that was just the provisions, things that they should disclose and go over prior to even running your credit. This is after the transaction that's taking place, certain disclosure requirements. So that's Title 15. I haven't gone over this one at all on the channel. 1631. So get familiar with that. Of course, we know this one as well too. It's very popular out there, which is the right of rescission. This is very heavy, and I do advise, if you are going to exercise this, to know the ins and outs of the right of rescission, know case law, and I will be dropping some case law studies on student loans and on auto loans this week, and I'll be going over and covering them on the channel here with you guys, so stay tuned so I can show you guys different individuals that have gone through the Supreme Court case and won with everything in which we are teaching. And so now I'm going to take you guys and skip to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which I believe this is the most vital when it comes to operating a credit company as a whole, because this is dealing with the consumer reporting agencies, right? The definition of it is credit reporting agencies. That's the title of this subchapter. And right away, when we hop into the congressional findings, I'm going to let you guys know what Congress is letting us know and how powerful we are as consumers and how powerful our credit is as a whole, family. So give me a sec. Let me chug this, and then we're going to get right into it. Ugh. That was nasty. You got to keep on walking on the road to Zion. How do we delete closed accounts? Any recommendations? Yes. So what I just went through in the definition section of 15 USC 1602 within truth and lending, the term adequate notice and a couple other ones towards the end, I want you to get familiar with and study. And then I'll let you know, what to do here towards the end in terms of what complaints to file, who to reach out to, and the steps that we'll take going, past this. So 1681, family. So this is a congressional findings. Let me rinse my mouth real quick. All right. 1681, accuracy and fairness of credit reporting. So go look up the definition of accuracy. Go look up the definition of fairness, right? Truly understand what they're stating. I want you guys to really get familiar with number one and what that's saying as a whole. To be dependent upon something means to not be able to live without it. So if a fish is dependent upon water, the fish cannot live without the water. So there is no banking system without fair and accurate credit reporting. So we should get familiar, and we should know the ins and outs of the true definition of accuracy and fairness. Right, then we go over an elaborate mechanism has been developed for investigating and evaluating credit worthiness. Go look into credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, excuse me, and general reputation of consumers. Also, when it comes to that excuse me, when it comes to that closed account, what I want you guys to go through and do is I want you guys to request that consumer file. I'm going to go over that here in a second. Also, I want you guys to demand the contract with them, the agreement that you have if you don't already have that with that closed account. But through there, they'll let you know all of the steps and processes you need to take in terms of, a removal of this account off your consumer report if there are any inaccuracies. So go through, read that, and go through and find many other violations within the things I'm teaching you guys as a whole, so that you guys can go out and use it within your guys' agreement and disputes that we'll be sending, and I'll let you guys know where to send out these disputes here after we cover the 4 subchapters within Title 15, Chapter 41. So all of these 1 through 4 are definitely vital within the congressional findings. Some key terms within the definition section of the FCRA is definitely the term person, as well as the term consumer report. A lot of people, have a misconception upon a consumer report. A lot of people are out there calling them still to this day a credit report, but notice how nowhere in here do they define a credit report. Not one bit do they define a credit report. And then right after that, they define what should be excluded from a consumer report. So we talk about and we define a consumer report, then we define what should be excluded from our consumer report. And then we talk about restrictions on sharing of medical information. Then we talk about, how medical bills should be restricted as well too. So I think that's very vital. And then we come here to an investigative consumer report. So a lot of times they'll tell you we went through and we investigated this account and it came back as accurate. Look up the true definition of an investigative consumer report, as well as a consumer reporting agency. Nowhere in here do they define, a bureau as Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. And, so really get familiar with the consumer reporting agency, because, like I said, there's over 300 consumer reporting agencies. And then the term file, which is number G or letter G, this is also within the FCRA, and this is what I was telling you guys to request from them. That is, in essence, your guys' audit trail on your guys' file. And then the term adverse action as well, too, which is letter K. You guys know if you guys have any denial of an account, or if they're giving you trouble in terms of you increasing your credit card and they've denied you that, I would go through and look up the definition of adverse action and know the ins and outs of it. And then we got the term permissible purpose, which is definitely vital as well too. You must know the ins and outs of, permissible purpose. I've used this to get so many different accounts removed within permissible purpose. Just number 1 alone will help you guys, in terms of a deletion. And then we come here to 1681 C2, which is the block of information resulting from identity theft. This is what's helped me with the FTC report, which is one of the methods that I do go through and use, especially for closed accounts, to get accounts removed. If you guys are in any of the membership, levels within the YouTube channel, I am going to be breaking down, how to file an FTC report for you guys, and uploading a couple of different videos and processes that I've done in terms of getting deletions through the FTC. So it lets you know step by step the 4 things you need to provide, in turn, if there is identity theft, and one of them is being the identity theft report, which is your FTC report. And then we come here to 1681E, which is compliance procedures. So I want you guys to look up B, which is the accuracy of the report. Also C, disclosures of consumer reports by users allowed. Right now we come here to 1681G, disclosures to guidelines. This is great as well too. Going through and printing this one out. Notice how I'm not giving you guys every single one to go through. you guys are having trouble in terms of employment, I would look into 1681K. That will help you guys with employment and getting things removed off your consumer reports for employment. Another one would be 1681M, which this is requirements on users of a consumer report. And then 1681N, which is holding them civilly liable. And 1681O, holding them civilly liable for negligent non-compliance. So there's actually three, forms of remedy within the FCRA. And then the third one, which is obtaining information under false pretenses, and this is Title 15 USC 1681Q. And then 1681S2 as well too is definitely something I've used a lot in terms of getting deletions. Let me see. So we're about through all of. That'll be the last one, 1681S2, that I'll give to you guys to study and master for your guys' credit companies if you guys are looking to implement consumer law. And if you have not, I highly advise that you do implement consumer law within your guys' company as a whole, because it will take you from where you're at right now and the results that you guys are getting to getting a lot more rapid and quicker results, but more efficient results, more individuals where these reports are coming off and they're not coming back on. They're coming off and the accounts are being zeroed out as a whole. So now I'm going to take you guys here to the equal credit opportunity. So I want you guys to get familiar with 1691, which is the scope of prohibition, as well as the definition section, which is 1691A. The next thing I want you guys to get familiar with is 1691E. This is a civil liability section within the equal credit opportunity. And last but not least, within here, I want you guys to get familiar with the administrative enforcement process, which is 1691C. So the last subchapter within Title 15, Chapter 41 is the FDCPA. And so if we come here from you guys can see the overview on your guys' laptops. If you guys just click, subchapter V, subchapter 5 within Chapter 41. And congressional findings is vital. We must understand, how we're being abused, how deceptive and unfair debt collection practices are taking place. Right? Yesterday, we talked about deception. It lets us know right away in the congressional findings of the FDCPA, the deceptiveness in which is going on by these financial institutions and these debt collectors as a whole. So we must get familiar with the congressional findings of the FDCPA. Then I want you guys to look into letter D as well too, and where they talk about interstate commerce. And I want you guys to ask yourself, why are they talking about interstate commerce within the FDCPA's congressional findings? Now we skip to the definition section. I want you guys to get familiar with the term bureau. I want you guys to see the difference between the term creditor within the FDCPA, and I want you guys to look up the definition within truth in lending. So yes, they are the same words, but two different definitions as a whole, as they are within two different subchapters. And then we got the term debt. I've gone over this so many different times. I want everybody to get familiar with and see the power in that term itself. And this alone will show you guys and help you guys discharge and remove all debts once you guys fully understand the definition of debt and the term debt collector. Another term as well too within here that I want you guys to look for is the term loan. I want you guys to look for the term borrower, and I want you guys to look, because don't you think in the FDCPA subchapter dealing with debt, they would define a loan, they would define the term borrower, because they're calling you guys these terms within the contracts. They're saying that a loan was originated. Okay, where is the loan defined within the FDCPA? So another one I want you guys to study within here is just those ones. So after debt collector, you guys are good. Now, if we come here, a couple different key, parts within the FDCPA is definitely acquisition of location information. So if they are communicating with you guys, these are certain things in which, they must provide while communicating with you guys. They must identify himself. They must not state that a consumer owes any debt. They may not communicate with such person more than once unless requested to do so. How many of you guys have requested them to, continue, communicating with you guys, yet they continue to do so?
Candy Torres, your ride is here. Candy Torres, your ride is here.
Okay, for me, the next one, which I believe is the most powerful, this and the next a couple, one I'm about to cover in a little bit, which I'll mention when I get there, are the two most powerful, codes within 1692, the FDCPA. So 1692CC or 1692C, excuse me, which is communication and connection with debt collection. All throughout there is letting you know, if they are communicating with you, when they should be communicating with you, when are convenient times, and then if they are represented by an attorney, there are certain things that they must, comply with. And then it talks about communication with third parties, and then seizing communication. So you can cease communication. I want you guys to get familiar with the definition of communication, because a lot of you guys don't truly know what it means, what communication means. And so 1692C is very, very powerful. Next is the harassment or abuse. This is for collections. This is for charge-offs. Anybody that is attempting to collect an alleged debt on a closed account, we're going to hit them within all of the FDCPA, and I guarantee you guys all will find minimum 3 to 5 violations within the FDCPA alone. And I believe that this is the easiest subchapter to start with as well too. So I would recommend starting here and then heading into the Truth in Lending Act, and then going into the FCRA, and then last but not least going over the Equal Credit Opportunity. In terms of you guys being able to master and understand, the ins and outs of all of them, I recommend starting with the FDCPA. And so 1692D, harassment or abuse, they harass and abuse you guys a lot more than you guys think. Go read through them, and I promise you guys will find at least one. 1692E, now this is where we're going to find a lot of violations as well too. Go look up number 3. If an attorney's, defending any of these corporations, go look up number 3. That'll help shut down any case, right away, right in its tracks. Go look up number 13. Go look up number 10. Go look up number 5. Get familiar with 1692E, false or misleading representation. And then we got unfair practices, that they do go through and use. Go look up number 1 and 3. And we got the next most powerful, if not the most powerful, within, once you know how to properly use 1692G, which is validations of debts. And all we're doing and having them do is validate it. I'm not here to argue with them. Family, don't waste your energy getting upset with these corporations, because I promise you guys it's going to lead you guys in a bad state and, on a low frequency as a whole. So, don't get upset. Just have them simply validate. Have them verify these debts. And how we're going to do so is request each, validation process step by step. So number 1, I'm going to request within a letter itself. I'm going to draft up a letter. I'm going to send that to the quote unquote creditor themselves. Whomever's reporting this account, I'm sending it to that financial institution or that debt collector. I'm having them validate the amount of the debt, the name of the creditor to whom the debt is owed. Remember, if we know the term creditor, that alone can get you guys things removed. So that's why I mentioned that earlier. And this is defined within the FDCPA and Truth in Lending, and is also defined here in 1692G if you just click on it. And we got the term number 3, and anything that's defined, that is for you guys, that is for the consumer. Right? And then we got number 4, a statement that if the consumer notifies the debt collector in writing within the 30-day period that the debt or any portion thereof is disputed, the debt collector will obtain verification. So not only validation, but verification of the debt, or a copy of a judgment against the consumer, and a copy of such verification or judgment will be mailed to the consumer by a debt collector. And number 5, and go read number 5, and that alone, as well as letter C within 1692G, which is admission of liability, will help you guys in terms of getting any account removed, because it states within here, the failure of a consumer to dispute the validity of a debt under this section may not be construed by any court as an admission of liability by the consumer. And then go look up the term creditor as well too, family. That's why I request each one by one. That's why I'm not looking to get things done off of one letter. I'm looking for a response. That's what I'm looking for. A lot of you guys think because I haven't gotten a removal from one account, because they told me it was accurate, because they told me it was valid, that it's valid, that it is accurate. There's no way of going about it anymore. I lost. They got me. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I done heard. Quit calling and scheduling calls when this is the response that you guys have gotten. Study more. You don't know, the things that you need to know. Invest into yourself. Invest into the different membership levels on YouTube. Now, if you guys are really to get to another level and work with me one-on-one, invest into my personal mentorship. Invest in the things that we have within my label. So above all else, family, mentorship is a time machine, and I promise you guys, it's just public information. That's why I'm dropping this for free on the public information. All I teach within my mentorship is I go through and break it down to you guys and your processes, as well as business credit and some other investments and, opportunities that you guys will have to do business with me and invest with me as a whole. So yes, there's, a lot more outside of the consumer law, but, in terms of the consumer law and what I teach, I'm teaching y'all here on the public channel. You don't have to go invest into any of them. I'm telling you what you guys got to go through and, study to know and get any account removed. Now it's for you guys to go through and study it, read it day by day. Go look up the Black's Law definitions of these terms. Get familiar with these terms. If you guys don't have a Black's Law dictionary, join our Discord, our public Discord, and we got it within there. Another one, 1692J, furnishing certain deceptive forms. That's a real good one as well too, as well as 1692K, which is the civil liability, and that's the remedy within the FDCPA. And let me see, I may have one more for you guys here. No, that'll be it. And so now I want to take you guys out here too, and this is the last thing we're going to cover before I head up out of here out of the gym, and then we're going to go live tonight. I'm thinking about running it. I'm going to drop a premiere for it. This live is going to be great in terms of laws and codes I must know that I'm going to break down as well too for you guys on the call tonight. But if you guys are going to get an auto loan in the vehicle from the dealership, I'm going to let you know what codes I should know prior to going into the dealership. So I'm going to cover that here on tonight's call. So I definitely would advise you guys to send out the premiere, send out, the link for tonight's call as it does drop here. Once I get home, I'll create the premiere. So it'll drop here in the next couple hours, and I'm looking forward to coming on and pouring into you guys with that. So the last chapter I want to take you guys into is the privacy chapter, and this is disclosures of non-public personal information. So this is Title 15 USC 6801. This is Chapter 94. So I want you guys to get familiar with 6801 A and B. Right, A and B I want you guys to get familiar with, and I want you to get familiar with 6802 as well too, and last but not least 6809. So I can't take you guys to the subchapter without knowing the definitions within it. So make sure we're familiar with 6809, and we are familiar with the Federal Banking Agency. I'm going to give you guys a couple different terms. The term financial institution, non-public personal information. I want you guys to get familiar with that. A non-affiliated third party. I want you guys to get familiar with that. I want you guys to get familiar with an affiliate. The term consumer and joint agreement. So those are the accounts that I do want you guys to get familiar with, as we do head into the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act, which is the Privacy Act for financial institutions. And I want you guys to understand, and I'm going to leave you guys off with this, is that Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are also financial institutions. So they are also held liable under the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act, family. And so now I want to leave you guys with the certain places to go through and file a complaint with, and this is going to be the CFPB. So I want you guys to get familiar with the CFPB and how to file, complaint through them. I I want you guys to get familiar with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, in creating an FTC report. Both of these processes and how-tos and me sharing my screen will be dropped here on the channel. On the membership levels, all 3 membership levels will have access to a recording of me going through and showing you guys how to go through and step-by-step file the CFPB complaint, how to file an FTC report, how to file an attorney general complaint as well too, regardless of what state that you guys are in. And the last but not least complaint, well, there's actually 2 more in which you guys can go through and do, but the OCC complaint. So not all banks are regulated by the CFPB, but the OCC does regulate the other banks as well too. So look in and get familiar with the OCC and how to file a complaint with them as well too. And that complaint, all these complaints, and me showing you guys how to go through and file them and doing them for you guys on the recording will be dropped on the membership levels. So stay tuned. If you guys are not already in the membership levels, I do highly advise that you guys join the membership levels. I'm going to upload a couple of different old processes and recordings that I got of the CFPB on the membership level here today as well too. If not, 2, maybe 3 of them. So stay tuned in regards to the CFPB and an FTC, breakdown. I've got multiple recordings upon those for my team that does help me go out and dispute, in regards to my credit company, because we're not just sending out letters to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. On top of that, yes, we are hitting them with these 3 letters, but on top of that, we're hitting them with the BBB, the CFPB, the FTC, an OCC complaint, or an attorney general complaint. We're hitting them with all 5 of these disputing methods as well too, family. So it's not just going through and disputing with the consumer reporting agencies or disputing just alone with the financial institution or the debt collector, but through there, we're also filing these other complaints, and where we are, yes, attacking and filing a complaint against these corporations, and where the attorney general or the CFPB, all they're doing is middlemaning and mediating in essence, and we're coming to them because they regulate these corporations and financial institutions, to bring to their notice, to find and, to create all the findings, to gather all the evidence, as we are agents of the CFPB. So the same bureau in which owns the FBI is the same bureau in which is operating the CFPB. But the difference with the CFPB is they don't have agents, just going out and working for them. We are the agents in which are going out and helping them. And so let's get familiar with that. Let's go back and study and watch the replay. If we are just tuning in, if you guys are watching the replay, let's go out and let's watch the replay as well too. Above all else though, family, let's take action. Let's drop comments if you guys got questions on any of the processes. Make sure you guys join the public Discord. I'm dropping the link right now. Just drop the link. Make sure you guys join the public Discord if you guys are not already in there. You guys see individuals are dropping their step-by-step processes, where not only me, but my mentees and my team will be able to help you guys with your guys' process and any questions that you guys may have. So come in there ready with questions, come in there ready to learn and spread love above all else, and just grow and operate, on an even higher frequency, because as a collective of individuals that vibrate on higher frequencies, it's only going to raise yours, family. So I appreciate you all tuning in. I love you all, and I'll see you all this evening, because we're going back live and we're going to do the training that I was actually going to do today. Today, I just wanted to come here and just spiel what was on my heart. Peace, love, light. I hope all of you guys' credit companies blow to becoming a 7-figure, 6-figure income for you guys all. I know that you guys can do it. I've generated multiple 6 figures in terms of credit. We have not hit the 7-figure mark yet, but we are on the way to it. And I know going into 2024, we will take, the company, the brand, the label to a 7-figure brand, with the power of, all of the other franchises that we're creating, and the power of all the success stories in which we are creating. Because alone, I can go fast, but together, we can go a lot further. Peace, love, and light. Credit Gotti. Peace out.